Hello and welcome to the News Mobile special. Today on the program, we are privileged to host Ms. Mugdha Sinha, who is the Director General of Tourism, a visionary leader driving India's tourism sector to new heights. In the conversation today, we will focus on the government's efforts to boost tourism within India, the strategies shaping the sector, and how these initiatives are helping position India as a global tourism hotspot. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Mugdha Sinha.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, first and foremost, let's talk about the Mahakumbh. It is here and right now, and
Hmm.
we would love to know what are the new things that we have done at the Mahakumbh this year, and what kind of a message are we trying to send out with the Mahakumbh?
Yeah. So we are beginning 2025 with one of the largest congregations of people in India at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj, which is not just all the largest, but also a very continuous tradition that we're doing, which goes back right to our antiquarian times, has a reference to the very fact of the Samudra Manthan.
Mhm.
So it is ancient, continuous, with a modern face, and of course the largest. And I think this time the preparations have been very, very good. Just want to make a small clarification that the whole Mahakumbh is organized by the government of Uttar Pradesh. There is a whole temporary district which is created by them. What the Ministry of Tourism is doing is that we're participating in the Mahakumbh in this manner for the first time. We've set up our own pavilions because this is also an opportunity. While 45 crore people will be coming to the Mahakumbh as is estimated, much larger than what happened in 2019, which is the Earth Kumbh. It is also an opportunity for India to showcase this kind of a pilgrimage tourism, if I can say,
Mhm.
to the world, because it was also aroused curiosity of the kind of foreigners
That's
that
right.
you see in the Kumbh, and also the fact that we are totally focused on the foreign tourist arrivals, the foreign researchers, the foreign photojournalists, the journalists, and all kinds of VIPs, the expat communities, the people who are into meditation, Eastern kind of meditation, the kinds of yoga that you do. So
That's right.
our focus is basically to attract the inbound tourist through this whole confluence that we have. What is also important is how we need to see it is the fact that for us, the whole Mahakumbh happens because of the Triveni, the three waters, and waters as elixir, and the fact that under the present dispensation, we've managed to clean up the Namami Ganga. So this time, because I've myself experienced and had a dip, so I can tell you that the COD and the BOD of the waters there are being maintained in a fantastic manner.
Wow.
It's clean, it's digital, because we also believe in travel for life as part of the mission Life, which was also initiated by our Honorable Prime Minister 2 years back as part of the global leadership to ensure that we believe in green and clean tourism, which is pro planet, nature positive, in sync culture, in sync with nature, because India is very blessed to have both a huge repository of cultural offerings and also of the topography and the geographies.
That's
And
right.
I think Kumbh is also a kind of indicator of that ancient wealth that we have, and the way we are using modern technologies and data uh, and stuff to ensure that we are able to sustain it and conserve it, whether it be cultural repositories or the natural waters of the Ganges and the Yamuna and the subterranean Saraswati. So that is very, very important for us, and this beautiful blending. And then to ensure that we also give the tourists and the pilgrims a nudge, we are ensured that we have some 150,000 toilets. We have about 25,000 people to ensure that everything remains clean. We have huge number of dustbins all around. So we are ensuring that we are also behave in a sustainable manner as responsible tourists, as part of how we believe that people should travel for life. I'm very happy to recall at this moment in time what Martin Luther, King said about his travel. He said, "If I anywhere else I can travel as a tourist, but when I come to India, it is always a pilgrimage. So
Lovely.
I think the Mahakumbh best exemplifies that. And I will invite all of you who are watching that please be our guests. Please do visit, because the enormity of the whole management in terms of governance and the beauty of India's cultural diversity and of the people coming together. It's the huge democratization of our values and culture and tradition. And I'm sure and this is a Kumbh that comes after 144 years because of the placement of, and also the celestial importance of this, because as above, so below, because those stars align in the sky, and this is
Perfectly.
the only event in the world for which there are no invites, no social media creatives. Everybody starts walking because they know that at a certain point in time, celestial time, that is, the astronomy of the sky, the celestial skies, will tell you that this is time for celebrating the Kumbh. So that is the ancient wisdom of our country, which is being exemplified and showcased at the Mahakumbh today. Yeah.
So you've beautifully summed up all the
Yeah.
arrangements. You've beautifully summed up the cause and the
Yeah.
reason
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
celebration, and of course how India is shining around this entire event. You made a comment about kind of a religious pilgrimage kind of a thing. Spiritual tourism
Hmm.
and India, because it
Hmm.
signifies so many
Hmm.
places in
Hmm.
India
Hmm.
which are of spiritual in nature. Similar to that, I think we had an inauguration of the Ayodhya temple,
Hmm.
and that too was
Hmm.
seen globally
Hmm.
as an
Hmm.
event
Hmm.
for that matter. So, what does the government plan, especially because in apparently by 2047 you
Hmm.
want to reach a certain goal of
Hmm.
getting so many tourists coming to India every
Hmm.
year?
Hmm.
So how do you want to use all of these and the beauty of India and its
Hmm.
natural resources
Hmm.
to increase tourism?
Hmm.
How are we going to compete with the other countries who
Hmm.
are also known for their
Hmm.
tourism?
Hmm.
And where all do you think we need to put in more effort from our end?
Yeah. So we will collaborate with many countries, because collaboration is how we sync our resources, because we are doing everything keeping the fact that we live on a planet Earth that needs to be preserved and conserved as well, while we do our experiencing of tourism. But importantly, you mentioned something about spiritual tourism. So we are totally invested and heavily invested, because we are supported by our ancient traditions and by the way we live our life, by our own lifestyle, and also the demand of time. Because after COVID, I think there's a certain realization in the community at large that health and wellness and well-being are very, very important, both
Important.
physical and mental. And I think India has places, India has facilities, India has the beautiful landscapes and also the modern facilities and infrastructure to support both. While we have the best of Ayush in terms of our ancient traditions, the way we do things, the processes, and we also have the most modern, authentic allopathic systems. So we both have wellness tourism and medical value tourism, and people do approach us for both. We are increasingly defining ourselves as a place for rejuvenative and recreational. So when you say recreational, it is all the kind of Ironman kind of events that you can do, all the physical sports and adventure tourism and ecotourism and wildlife tourism. That is what we think is recreational, which is mostly for the physical part, and also gives you soul and soul, if I can say,
Mm.
SOLE and SOUL. That kind of a thing is recreational. And then there is rejuvenative tourism, which is going to places, not out of a fear of missing out, but because of a joy of missing out. So you go
Mm.
to the FOMO versus the JOMO kind of a thing, because which is how what the zillennials or the Gen X and the millennials are traveling and increasingly wanting to go to hidden gems or places which are not yet discovered. So we are increasingly looking at those two buckets. We are also looking at how the musical concerts, how the jet setting, which is the film based tourism, can promote a place. We are also heavily invested in leisure tourism and bringing new tourism spots in the country. And we are also very increasingly invested in looking at how we are building our tourist itineraries, both for potential spots and also for the promised. So if a golden triangle is a promised spot, then can we nudge people into, say, a rural destination or a cafe run by acid victims, say in the Golden Triangle area, or can we shift them to more experiential travel and say, okay, if you go to Jaipur, for example, or Rajasthan, can you sit with the Meenakari artists and make your own
Mm,
souvenir
that
and
would be
buy,
beautiful.
you know,
Yeah.
invest like a DIY kind of an activity, which is where the global trends are. Also, because the world is today impulsively traveling, using a lot of information and digital technologies and artificial intelligence to do their bookings. And I'm going to, or given to understand by a lot of people, the telematics is becoming very
Hmm.
important, and how they do hyper localization to choose where they want to do the gourmet travel, the Michelin star restaurants
Absolutely.
ratings, and how people was specifically wanting to go. So we are looking at all of that. Amusement tourism, say people wanting to go to Paris to do a Disneyland, or people going to Florida to do a Disneyland, or something like that. So we are looking at the entire bucket that we have, because each state in the country, each city will have a different USP. So we are looking at what is the USP in various places and how we can encash that USP, and how we can pit those cities, those destinations and attractions. And of course, we also want to put the scaffolds around all these destinations by giving proper infrastructure. So for us, it is the triangulation of attraction, accommodation, and accessibility. If we get this triangulation right, then I think we will get the incoming people. And I think the most important thing, because this is like the cake and the cherry on the cake, which is important, which is what attracts everybody, is to be able to create more visibility in the visual story of India. So do marketing like entertainment, because that is very important. So make the visual story of India viral is what is also my job, and I want to do it because India's visibility in the markets should grow, and India should be able to we should be able to encash, and not just look at the short haul, but also look at the long haul. Look at our visa regimes, look at case studies of how people are doing, look at stopovers like Singapore does, for example.
Hmm.
Look at places like Dubai, which gives you a free SEM on your arrival at the airport, which tracks and does data collation and aggregation. So we are also studying a lot of the global markets, and direct flights becomes very, very important because India is a long haul destination. So can we do code sharing with other international flights, and also look at our top 25 markets very seriously, look at high spenders, look at long stayers. Apart from leisure tourism, also look at the MICE sector, which is all the meetings, incentives, expositions, conferences, like a 2036 Olympic coming to India. There are
That's right.
several other international associations whose events we can get to India now that we had the Bharat Bhumi, the Yasho Bhumi, the Bharat Mandapam, the Geo World Centers, all these great convention centers that we have. So I think the idea is to get as many tourists into the country, and then to be able to showcase the beauty, because India is just not sufficient for a one visit. A repeat visit is very important. It's not enough for one's lifetime. There's so much to see in,
There's a
in the
lot to
country, and
see.
there's so much of diversity. In fact, it is said that after every 10 kilometers, there's a change in the linguistics, the granularity of the country itself, from language to customs to
Food,
values to food to
everything.
craft.
Yeah.
And we have so many UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We have 44 of them, the Moidams being the latest. We have 3,696 ASI sites. We have so many wildlife sanctuaries. We have beaches, blue flag beaches, trekking destinations, monasteries. There's so much to see that it'll never be enough. I mean, one lifetime is not enough to do
And I think
India.
that makes
Yeah.
it equally a tougher job for
Yes,
the government to
yes,
keep
yes.
keep at it, because something or the other needs to be promoted. Another question I have is the ASEAN Indian Year of
Hmm.
Tourism 2025 just got conducted, and
Yes.
so what are the things under it, and what are we trying to promote over there?
Yeah. So 2025 is also the year of India ASEAN, and we have an entire work plan. The Honorable Prime Minister made an announcement last year at the India ASEAN Summit, which happened in Laos PDR, and a certain kitty was also dedicated to the celebrations. We have an entire work plan. The Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, India, also attended the recently concluded India ASEAN Tourism Ministers Meet in Malaysia, in Johor, and we have an entire work plan. We are working with all the 10 plus 1 countries of the ASEAN very closely, because this ASEAN region is a short haul destination for us, and even India is an important market for them. So we are working very closely. We will be doing a lot of data sharing and looking at sustainable tourism in all the kind of programs and workshops that we do. So we are engaging with people, artisans, musicians, experts, technology experts, sustainability experts, the hospitality industry, also looking at various processes, visas, etc. included. So you'll see a lot of things happening in this year.
Okay,
And
so-
also India, Spain. 2026 will be the year of India Spain tourism.
Interesting.
So we will be moving from
Interesting.
then doing a
We
whole
would love to know a lot more about
lot
that
of stuff.
maybe in a later conversation. But one
Yes.
last question that I have: the World Economic Forum Index
Hmm.
puts us at number 39 as a country.
Yes.
So the couple of areas where we really need to improve include safety, security, hygiene, etc. According to their data that they've released. So what is the message that you would like to give, and what is it that we're doing in this
In the
regard?
last couple of years, our ranking has improved. We are at 39, you're right. We are working towards improving our ranking, not just here, but also our ICA ranking for the MICE sector. Lot of money. In fact, if I can tell you today as I speak, 12,000 crore has been invested in this year under 4 different schemes: Suresh Darshan 2, Prasad, challenge-based destination development, and special assistance to the various states. So we are pouring in this money, which will start showing results in the next 2 or 3 years in terms of better improvement in the basic amenities. ASI Monument has started what is called a CSR-based Adopt Your Heritage Plan 2. We also run what is called a sentiment tracker, where we also get continuous feedback from the travelers. We are also doing huge amount of surveys in the Mahakumbh, the Bharat Parv, which is coming up on the 26th, the Suraj Kund, which is coming up. So we are absolutely conscious about the fact that we need to improve. We need to be clean, safe, hygienic for us to be welcoming in terms of hospitality. We are totally apprised of the fact. We are working towards it. But more than that, I think supply chain, which is the number of accommodations, which is a big part of your WEF TTDI index. So we are also working with the states to get more investment in this sector, because price competitiveness becomes very important when people choose. A lot of our airlines have actually ordered some 800 plus aircrafts, which are due to come, which are wide body aircraft, which basically means in times to come, you can see there will be many more flights. We have about 157 airports today. For the Amrit Kal vision, we have about 350 more airports come up. So more airports, more people, better accommodation, more better accessibility, newer destinations, better tour itineraries, more visibility. So I think that is we working in sync. So these different flowers
So
will make up a
everything will
bouquet.
then
Yes,
slowly
absolutely.
materialize and start showing up. It already has.